Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Lauren, and on this channel we talk about books, and I cannot believe that it's already January 2026. How is it 2026? I don't even know. How is it a new year? But it is. We are here, and today's video we are picking our January TBR. It is the first TBR of 2026. How exciting. I am in the middle of reading a book that I have been reading forever. I think I started this book in like September of last year. I don't know what is taking me so long to read it. It's a great book. I'm enjoying it. I don't know. I guess I'm just taking my time with the story. For whatever reason, it's just been a slow read for me, but I am almost done, and that is Immortal Consequences. I have literally been reading this book what feels like forever. This was my August 2025 book of the month. I don't think I started it in August. I may have started it like September, October. I'm not quite certain when, but somewhere in that time frame. And like I said, I don't know what's taking me so long to read this book. I don't dislike this book. I enjoy reading this book. I don't know. I'm reading it just a few chapters at a time, and I don't know. I have no real explanation, but I'm almost done. I've got about 80 pages left. I do want to finish this book tonight. It's going to be my bedtime read tonight, and my goal is definitely to finish this book. So I am considering this book a January read because it's like January, I don't know, 14th, 15th today. Yeah, January 15th today, and I'm just not picking my January TBR. We're off to a great start. But that's okay. I have technically been reading. I've been reading this book, and I have been listening to 2 audiobooks. So I feel good about the month of January, but I'm almost done with this book, and I'm almost done with my second audiobook for the month. So I figured it's a really good time to sit down and figure out what I'm going to read for the rest of the month. Another book that's going to be an automatic January TBR is The Staircase in the Woods. I had this on my December TBR and I did not get to it, but I just feel like this book sounds so interesting. I really, really want to get to it. I really want to read it. So I am personally sticking this book on my January TBR in hopes that I do get to it this month. If you didn't watch my January TBR, if you did and you can't quite remember what this book is about, basically we have a group of young boys, they're all friends, and they're in the woods and they see a random staircase just leading up to nowhere, and one of the boys goes up the staircase and he never returns. Well, fast forward 25 years later, the staircase reappears. And so now these young boys have grown into men, and they, I guess, happen to be in the woods together, and they see that the staircase has reappeared. And so they travel up the staircase to, I guess, go in search of their friend. And the story is essentially about these now men traveling through this staircase and I guess discovering what's beyond and trying to rescue their friend that is in this other world, other realm that lies beyond the staircase. I just think that sounds really good. And it's different than what I normally read. I primarily stick to fantasy romance, and so this book is outside of that. I wouldn't call it comfort zone because I am comfortable reading other genres. I just tend to stick to romance, fantasy romance. But I just feel like this is going to be thrilling, and it's supposed to be mysterious, a little bit of a thriller. So I think it's just going to be really fun to read and kind of like a palate cleanser, if you will, from like my normal genre reads. Okay, but aside from those 2 books that I'm reading and the audiobook that I'm currently listening to, I think I'm like 48% of the way through, maybe a little bit more. I am going to pick 5 books to read this month. It is it's January 15th, so there's not a whole lot of time left in the month, so I don't want to overwhelm myself with books to read. Of course, a TBR is just a suggestion. You absolutely do not have to read every single book on your TBR, but I like to do my best to get to them all. And it kind of, for me, what I learned in 2025 is that if I don't finish my TBR, it kind of discourages me and like kind of gets me down, and it in a way like ruins my next month reading. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm like internally hard on myself if I don't finish my TBR, which I know is nonsense, but it's something that I've learned about myself. So this year I'm going to try to scale down my TBR. That way I don't beat myself up about not finishing my TBR. So I'm only going to choose 5 books because this technically will make 6 books. So yeah, so I'm just going to do 5 for this month, especially considering the point of the month that we're in. So yes, I'm going to quit rambling about that and let's get started. I still have my little basket and let's see what we pull. Okay, the first prompt is a book with a moon on the cover. Okay, that's exciting. I'm going to look around for a little bit, and when I choose, I'll be right back. Okay, so I had a massive ADHD moment whenever I went downstairs to take a look at all of my books in totality. And a few hours have passed by. So, but I'm back. And I have picked my book that has a moon on it. And I'm pretty sure this book has been on a TBR before in 2025, like mid to late 2025. Or maybe I just talked about it in like a recent purchases video. I don't know. But I know I talked about this book before. And it is Arcana Academy. It has a little moon right there. So I did have like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 books that I was kind of going between. And then I narrowed it down to 2. And the other book was much larger, so I did decide to go with this one simply because of the size. Not that this one is necessarily a small book. I think it's like almost 600 pages, but the other one was like 1,000 pages. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with this one. I have been wanting to read this one. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable, so Arcana Academy is what we're going to be reading for a book with a moon on it. And if you don't know what this is about, I will read a quick little blurb that's here on the dust jacket. It says, a woman who wields magical tarot cards lands herself in a false engagement with the headmaster of a mysterious academy in the first installment of an enthralling fantasy romance series from the best-selling author of A Deal with the Elf King. That sounds good. Okay, book number 2. Let's see what prompt we get. This one says literary fiction. Okay, let me look around. I promise not to have an ADHD episode, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think for this prompt, I'm going to go with Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I think this is technically considered contemporary literary fiction. I don't know. I think it's like a modern twist on David Copperfield. Like this story kind of like, I don't know, borrows inspiration from that story, so which I'm not really familiar with. But I have heard really, really good things about this book. This is a Pulitzer Prize winner, so it's got really great accolades. I have heard, oh, what's his name? Jack in the Book. So Jack here on YouTube, his channel is Jack in the Books. He has a few different channels, but the one I watch primarily is Jack in the Books. He has really great things to say about this book. However, our reading genre, our reading styles, if you will, are very, very different, but I do enjoy his content because he has such a different taste in books. I get to learn and explore different books through him. So he's actually where I found this book, or where I heard of this book. So I purchased this book because of him. So perfect time to read it. Okay, let's see what our third prompt is going to be. Let's get a good one from the bottom. Hispanic author or like a Hispanic influence, Hispanic story. Okay, okay, I have it. It is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, and this sounds so good. It's during the overthrow of the Mexican government, Beatrice's father was executed and her home destroyed. When handsome Don Rodolfo Solorenzo proposes, Beatrice ignores the rumors surrounding his first wife's sudden death, demise, choosing instead to seize the security that his estate in the countryside provides. She will have her own home again, no matter the cost. But Hacienda San Isidro, probably said that so wrong, is not the sanctuary she imagined. When Rodolfo returns to work in the capital, visions and voices invade Beatrice's sleep. The weight of invisible eyes follow her every move. Rodolfo's sister, Juana, scoffs at Beatrice's fear. But why does she refuse to enter the house at night? Why does the cook burn incense at the edge of the kitchen and mark the doorway with strange symbols? What really happened to the first Donna Solorenzo? Beatrice only knows two things for certain. Something is wrong with the hacienda, and no one there will save her. Ooh, desperate to save herself, she clings to the young priest, Padre Andres, as an ally. No ordinary priest. Andres will have to rely on his skills as a witch. Ooh, hold on. No ordinary priest. Andres will have to rely on his skills as a witch to battle the malevolent presence haunting the hacienda. Far from a refuge, San Isidro, which is the house's name, may be Beatrice's doom. Yeah, that's the one. That sounds so good. I forgot this was on my shelf. I got this as a book of the month in May of 2022. So I've had it for a while. Okay, you guys, we're down to our last two picks. Let's get a good one. Let's see what we get. Gothic vibes. Ooh, okay. Let me peruse and I'll be back. I love a gothic vibe. I gotta pick a good one for sure. I shall return. Okay, so I had a few to choose from, but I just recently purchased this book, maybe within a few months, and I really want to read it. I'm really excited about it, and that is Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. Isn't this book just beautiful? Oh my god. So, it says, there's like a glare, it's hard for me to see. That's what happens when you get old. It says Marabella Owens grew up with legends of wolves that traveled to her Midwestern town to protect humans from vampires. Of a werewolf that fell in love with one of the undead, unraveling a blood-soaked history. But Mira stopped believing in those fairy tales years ago. She stopped believing in a lot of things after her mom left without a trace when she was only 13. As Mira begins her freshman year at Lakeland University, she's ready to leave the past behind her. Only the past isn't finished with her yet. Strange animal attacks are occurring around campus, reopening cold cases tied to her mother's disappearance, and the only person who seems to know anything is Julian Santos, the boy who is hell-bent on getting Mira to leave campus for reasons she can't begin to understand. But Mira refuses to let him keep his secrets, not when the truth is the difference between life and death. Mira will have to accept that there is much more to the old town's myths and her growing feelings for Julian than she ever could have anticipated. And as the blood moon rises, she will come to know a world that will shatter her past and change her future. Oh no. I think that sounds delicious. And last but certainly not least, let's get into book number 5. Let's get a good one for the last one. Oh, how interesting. It's less than 3 stars on Goodreads. Ooh. Okay, let me get on Goodreads Let me go through my TBR on Goodreads and go through those reviews and see which one I want to pick. Oh my gosh, less than 3 stars. Okay, let me go figure this out. That took some time, but I did find something that almost meets the criteria. I went through my library books, put them on Goodreads, tried to see who had the lowest rating, and the lowest rating that I could find was 3.06. So not quite less than 3 stars, but it is the best that I could do with what I've got. And that is Boys with Sharp Teeth. I'm pretty sure this is a YA, I don't know, romance, suspense, maybe a little mystery, thriller, something or other. I'm not quite sure. But I was surprised that this book had such a low rating, because I could have sworn that like mid last year people were kind of excited about this book on YouTube. I saw a lot of YouTube shorts about this book. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know if people were talking about it on TikTok. I'm sure they were, but I know I saw quite a bit of buzz about it, positive buzz about it on YouTube. So for it to only have a 3.06 star rating, I was kind of like, oh, okay. I was just not expecting that. But yeah, so this is what I will be reading. I don't really remember much about this book. It's obviously teenagers. They're in school uniforms. We've got 1 girl, 2 boys. Spicy. It says 17-year-old Marina James has spent her entire life living in the shadows of the exclusive Huntsworth Academy, and when her cousin's dead body is found in a creek on school property, Marin knows exactly who's to blame: Adrian Hargraves and Henry Wu, the enigmatic, dangerously alluring leaders of the school's social elite. Swapping her ripped jeans for a crisp prep school shirt, Marina infiltrates Huntsworth to seek justice, but her quest is quickly muddied by a confusing attraction to her new life and the 2 dysfunctional and depraved boys who somehow understand her better than anyone ever has. When Marin uncovers the otherworldly secret the boys are hiding behind Huntsworth ivied gates, the line between right and wrong, love and hate, and nightmare and reality begin to crumble, and nothing is as it seems. That sounds good. I wonder why the rating is not that 3 stars is a bad rating, but there were a lot of reviews, and for it to like total out as 3 stars really surprises me. So I'm interested to read this. All right, you guys, just to recap, I am just about done with Immortal Consequences. Got about 80 pages left, so that is exciting. My personal pick for this month is Staircase in the Woods. This was on my December TBR. I did not get to it. I really want to read it, so I am forcibly adding it to my January TBR. For a book with a moon on the cover, we are doing Arcana Academy. For literary fiction, we are doing Demon Copperhead. For a book with either a Hispanic author or Hispanic influence, we are doing The Hacienda. Gothic vibes, we are doing Blood Moon. And for a low-rated book, we are doing Boys with Sharp Teeth. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know any of your thoughts, feelings, opinions, reviews, all the things. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these books. Have you read them? Did you like them? Do you want to read them? Are they on your never-ending TBR? Also, let me know what you guys are reading this month. I always love to hear what you guys are reading. And I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you haven't already, do consider subscribing. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!